When Emily Ross's father passed away, she didn't cry. Not at the funeral, not when people hugged her, and not even when her mother whispered, "He loved you, you know." Emily just nodded, staring at the closed coffin, a stranger's goodbye. Because for the last 10 years, her father hadn't been part of her life. He left when she was 15, one ordinary summer morning, leaving only a note on the kitchen table. "I need to find myself." That was it. No address, no explanation, just a sentence that shattered her world. Her mother never talked about him again. Bills piled up. Emily worked 2 part-time jobs through college, and she learned to stop expecting people to stay. By the time she turned 30, Emily had built a quiet life in Denver. She was a nurse, lived alone, and didn't let anyone get too close. Until one evening, she received a small brown package in her mailbox. No return address, just her name, written in her father's handwriting. Her hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was a letter and a tiny key taped to the bottom. The first line stopped her breath. "If you're reading this, it means I'm gone. But before you judge me, I need you to know why I left." For the first time in years, she felt something break inside her chest. Not pain, not anger, something deeper. A door she thought she'd locked forever had just opened. The letter was long, written in shaky ink, full of words that felt raw and desperate. "Emily, when I walked away that morning, it wasn't because I stopped loving you. It was because I was sick, not in a way doctors could fix. I had debts, dangerous ones, and I thought if I disappeared, I could keep you and your mother safe." Emily froze. Debts? Safe from what? She turned the page. "I worked under a man who ran illegal shipments across the border. When I found out what he was doing, it was too late. I was already in it. I couldn't bring the danger home, so I left, hoping you'd grow up without fear." Tears blurred her vision. All these years, she had pictured him as selfish, a man who chose freedom over family. But the words in front of her told a different story, a man who had traded his happiness for their safety. At the bottom of the letter was a note. "The key opens a locker at the old bus station in Laramie. I left something there you deserve to have." Emily hesitated. Laramie was 4 hours away. She thought about throwing the letter away, pretending it didn't exist. But something inside her whispered, "Go." The next morning, she got into her car and drove through the empty Wyoming highway. The wind howled against the windows, and for the first time in years, she let herself remember him. His laugh, his rough hands, the way he used to call her pumpkin. When she reached the bus station, the place looked deserted. Dusty benches, flickering lights, echoes of footsteps long gone. Locker 118. She slid the key in, turned it, and the door creaked open. Inside was a small wooden box. Inside the box, a stack of photographs, a silver locket, and another letter. Her father's voice echoed in her head as she read, "If you're holding this, then maybe I did something right. These photos, they're from the years I was gone. I never stopped watching over you, Emily. Every birthday, every graduation, every step. You were never out of my sight, Emily, not once." Her throat tightened. In the photos, she saw herself through the eyes of a man standing at a distance. Her at 16, walking home from school. Her at college in her nurse uniform. Her smiling at a cafe, unaware someone was watching. Someone who still loved her. She dropped to her knees, sobbing for the father she thought she had lost long ago. Weeks passed, but Emily couldn't stop thinking about the letters. She'd read them every night, tracing his handwriting with her fingertips. Her mother, when told about it, broke down. "He wrote to me too," she whispered. "I never had the courage to tell you." That night, mother and daughter sat together for the first time in years, crying, remembering, forgiving. A local reporter reached out soon after. A man named Daniel, who'd heard about her father's case years ago, about a truck driver who vanished after turning whistleblower against a smuggling ring. "Your father wasn't running away," Daniel told her gently. "He was protecting people. He gave evidence that helped shut the operation down. He disappeared to stay alive." Emily stared at the floor. All her life, she'd carried anger that didn't belong to her. Now, it melted into something else: pride. Months later, she stood by her father's grave again, the same place where she once felt nothing. This time, she placed the locket on the stone and whispered, "I forgive you, Dad, and I finally understand." The wind picked up, soft and warm, brushing her cheek like a hand she'd missed for too long. For the first time in 15 years, Emily smiled. And as she walked away, she carried not grief, but peace, the kind that comes when the truth finally finds its way home.